This is a special report, the Crypto Casino, a Bitcoin warning and proof of life failure. For those of you that have followed my work or are members and have seen the Bitcoin chart I have been sharing, I believe that the resistances that we had spoken of are the point that the market fell from, and that sets up a lot of problems for Bitcoin and probably for the whole crypto complex. I want to take a look and start out by looking at the chart on Bitcoin. And what we're going to do, of course, is look at cycle analysis. On the left that we're looking at, let me just get my pointer up here so that you can see it, sorry about that. Boy, I'm just putting stuff all over the place here. There we go. Okay, so on the left here, we're looking at Bitcoin on 10 weeks and a 2-year daily right there. The chart that I'm going to blow up here has cycle brackets on the bottom for those of you that are new. And what we're looking at here are key lows, and we measure from key low to key low. And there's also minor cycles inside of what we consider the dominant cycle. A cycle is measured from low to low. Now, there was an important low that was made right over here, and that was made after what we have is an abandoned baby right there. So it gapped up on a Monday, it gapped down on a Monday, and left a single bar. It's essentially an island, and that's usually a sign of a significant turn. The second thing is our reversal scout, which you see right over here, is pointing to the downside. That has negative momentum on the intermediate time frame here on the weekly chart. So this phase where the market rises right in here is what I call the proof of life, because this is a minor rising phase. And with this kind of a situation of an abandoned baby and negative momentum, it has to prove it can overcome that, what looks like a major turning point in the market. So it came here and it made a low at 47,440 and then had the rally as it was supposed to in this minor rising phase. But then it turned down, proving the negative momentum, and broke that key level of 47,440. What that says is that the time frame that we're looking at here in this big yellow area, which is what we consider the period of risk that we've been talking about, goes all the way out here into the first or second week of July. That means there's a strong likelihood that all rallies in Bitcoin will fail and that the trend will go down. Now, our projections in here are to the major 50%, which is at around, well, 34,900, 3,500, 35,000, or coming down here to about 27,500. Wow, that's a big drop. We have all along, and this has been up there for weeks and weeks and weeks, talking about a spring-summer crypto crash with an expected drop in the first wave, which is right here, of 1/3 of its value to as much as 60% of its value. So, of course, if it got down over here, that would be about 60% of its value down here at that area of about 27,000 down there, or a little bit higher. So the risks are extremely high when I look at it here on the weekly chart. Now I'm going to switch over to the daily chart, which we also do cycle analysis on, and this is just phenomenally packed with information. You can see in here what are really very pretty cycle rhythms. So you can see the key low right over here, and right over here, and right here, and right here. These rhythms are just gorgeous in here when you look at that. And you can see the uptrend. This is the slim ribbon. The slim ribbon combined with the slim ribbon PO is the best combination of momentum indicators you will ever see. And as you can see in here, in a little correction here, it turned neutral, that's blue, but it gave all of these bullish signals right in here, all of these saying that conditions were great and that the upward momentum was likely to keep it going up. You could see the channel that it was going up in, and we call this the directional component to the cycle analysis. It's what pushes these cycles up in bullish configurations. Now, I want you to note right over here where it turned lower. In other words, this low here was lower than this low here. That's the first time it had done that. in quite a while. And then the next rally phase right over here failed in the sell zone. We created the sell zone because this was a negative cycle. And it failed here badly. And then it broke under that key support level at that 46,700 right there. And that said to you that this downtrend is now well in force. I'm going to go back here to the weekly and I'm going to show you the side-by-side right there so you can see how that works. And that is this whole area here is negative and likely to see a decline into July. And that makes negative cycle patterns right here and failures in the resistant sell zone, as you see there. Blowing up the daily again, I also want you to see that what happened was all of this positive momentum and all of these buy signals that you see right over there on the slim ribbon PO turned negative. You see it turned red right over here, and a sell signal came right on this day, and look what it did. This is a very negative condition, and the probability of the bounce that we're seeing today of around $3,000 and coming well off that low of 46,000, that's likely going to end with another sharp move to the downside. So everything that we're looking at in here says that it's negative, and let's add to that cycle patterns are what forms head and shoulders tops. Here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder. Right here, that's your head. And the failure in the right shoulder, the completion of the pattern, it really needs to break under that neckline, but we think it's going to. And then the measurement for the head and shoulders top is down here around 25,000. So we talked on the weekly at about 27,000, on the daily chart about 25,000, and there's a good reason to believe that that's where it's headed. We believe that the proof of life for cryptocurrency has failed, and that we're likely to see sorry about that. We're likely to see this Bitcoin moving down in a very sharp way. That's the look at Bitcoin. And now, what are the reasons that I would think and that I have been negative on the whole crypto idea, the whole concept of cryptocurrency? And I believe that it has been nothing but a giant casino. And I'm going to give you the 10 reasons why Bitcoin is failing. Number one, the scarcity aspect is false. Even though there's a $21 million cap on the number of Bitcoin out there, there are unlimited cryptos. We don't really know the number between the cryptocurrencies and altcoins. I've heard 4,000 on cryptocurrencies, and then you add in the altcoins, and I've seen numbers about 7,000. I saw one number at 11,000, adding in all of the really not well followed coins. There is unlimited amount of cryptocurrencies that can be created. Number two, it's very low adoption. There's a few institutions that have opened up funds for Bitcoin. Not very many whatsoever. Yes, there's some companies that allow retail transactions on them, but they're very slow. They're not like using a credit card. There is very little adoption going on for Bitcoin whatsoever. It's all hype based on the trading that's going on in it. It's not a store of value. There is no intrinsic value or physical property to it. It's not a commodity. It's not anything. It's nothing but air. There is no store of value there whatsoever. It's low liquidity and high volatility. You see these huge moves on very relatively low volume. There's no volume in there for institutions to trade these things. They're just incredibly low volume. The use for illicit transactions. Well, I think that's overplayed. Maybe there's some of that. Yellen calls it misuse, and they're well focused on that, and then maybe that's important. But what I read is that only 0.34% of all Bitcoin transactions are in the category of what they believe is illicit use. So I'm going to put lower weight on that one, but that's a focus from the people that want to regulate it, and I think that's what's important. It has a very large carbon footprint. And that is true. It's costly to produce. And this was Musk's excuse, so that he no longer has to take Bitcoin, which is just a crazy thing, for Tesla cars. So that's ended, and I think it gave Musk an out to realize that he's a alternative energy company, alternative energy technology company, and that taking something with such a high carbon footprint makes no sense to him. Regulation is coming. The SEC wants to regulate it. And they're looking at Binance this week, investigation by the Department of Justice. So they're going to go after these exchanges, which are extremely weak, and that's one of the big problems for the with these exchanges. They're not regulated, and I think that these regulatory firms, regulatory aspects of the government are going to be after them in a very big way. There are more and more country bans coming out. This is just a few of them: Turkey, India, Saudi, Morocco, Egypt, Algeria. There are many more, and there are a ton of them that do not allow banking transactions. Even though they're not banned in the country, they're banned for banking transactions. Bitcoin is not money. The reasons are, well, number 1, 2, and 3, and 4. There's really low adoptions. There's few institutional actions. It's not a store of value, no intrinsic value, very, very low liquidity. And while the fact that you can do it, it's peer-to-peer, and there's no central bank that gets in the way of that, that's also a negative for it, because it really makes it just a weaker fiat currency is what it does. And of course, you don't pay your taxes in it. And the way that fiat currencies get value is because you have to pay your tax in that currency. So it's not money. It doesn't fit into anything that is money. All it is a way to gamble. Crypto is a gambling casino. That's all it is. Each cryptocurrency is a slot machine in the great crypto casino. And with Bitcoin failing, you really have to wonder about that. Here's your crypto casino and the gambling mentality, with every single one of these being just simply people putting money in it because you may get more money out. You may get that mega win that comes out of it that we've heard about in the news, whether it be in Dogecoin, which is a nothing coin whatsoever, a joke coin, or the middle one there is Ethereum, which is getting some traction because of NFTs, which are beginning to fail also. And of course, the hope that you could get Bitcoin to 100,000 or 1 million, which is what we've seen in there. This is all because of, well, Fed printing. It's bringing this huge gambling mentality. We see it in NFTs. We see it in SPACs. All of those are starting to fail right now. Bitcoin, I believe, is starting to fail. I have shown you the technical aspects in there, and this is just one big, great crypto casino. Every one of these cryptocurrencies is just another slot machine, another way to gamble. And yes, don't confuse blockchain technology or any of those technologies that these are built on. They're very much, I would call them fantastic. There's going to be massive adoption. They're going to change the world in the way that we track things. But the cryptocurrencies, well, they're nothing but a way to gamble, and we're seeing that right now, and the Fed has created this, and this is going to end up in just a giant crash in this whole thing. I think that you're going to see 80% of these cryptocurrencies gone. The fact you could buy NFTs is just the amount of money that they're paying for that is crazy. There is so much in the way of the numbers of how many are available and not selling. I mean, it's just a total joke. Actually, I could make an NFT out of this, and it'll probably be worth more than 80 or 90% of all of those other ones out there. We here at AskSlim.com are market pros, and this actually could be an NFT. I hope that this presentation enlightened you, and that you see that the atmosphere that we're in right now is nothing but a big crypto casino, and it's going to end very badly.